Hey folks, right, I can see the camera is now sitting above my shoulder. I can still move it around quite well so we can get some different angles and move it in and out. So the tank is currently drying. Put the decals on and gloss varnished it, so I'm just waiting for all that to dry, give it a few days. So while I'm waiting, I've started to do a little bit more on the crew, started to paint the uniforms and stuff. I can't see any point in painting the whole, as this is all going to be hidden inside the tank anyway, and they're never going to be coming out of it. And I've also started work on the diorama. So what we're planning to do is I've taken glare picture frame. There's my light. Yeah. Now on the other side I've removed the stand and binned it, and I've gone in with PVA. It's still wet to get that stuck into place. So I've left the glass and everything in. It worked out as a good base. So the plan is I'm going to put a road leading across which starts to break into a dirt track, and we're going to have some grass and a path on one side. And for the road, to make the texture of the road, we're going to use some sandpaper. Now, I've already cut this to shape, so we're going to stick this down here. We're going to put like a border coming around, and then we're going to build up some mud along here and start up the tarmac. Same here, and we'll make a path here, and I might put one of my figures on there out of the military miniatures kit. See if there's one that's just sort of walking or crouching, like this guy number 7 and this guy down the side of it. I might paint those two up and have them walking down the path by the side of the tank. So that's where we are with this. So I am going to get on with this while I'm waiting for the tank to dry, and I'll come back shortly and show you some progress. Okay, so we have our road stuck down. And the way it's dried, it's actually got some lumps in it, which may very well add to the effect of old and used tarmac. So the plan now is to start filling in some mud. So all of this, and obviously we're going to need to break this up so it's breaking down into a dirt track. So some mud will encroach here and here, fade out, and then we'll do a little path here. I'm going to use some polyfiller just to build up the mud. The reason is I had plenty left over from doing some work in the house, so it's quite malleable. It's soft, but it's just right for shaping how you want it. So we'll just lay some down. I've put some tape around the edges so we don't get any on the actual frame itself, and we should just get on and start putting some bits and pieces down. So right, I don't know how well this is going to go, so it's just a matter of getting the stuff down and getting it to stay where we want it. Obviously once it starts to dry out a bit more, we can manipulate it a little bit better. So for now it's just a matter of getting the rough shape of what we want. So we're going to want to bring that down a bit. That's where we want the path to be. Right, I'm going to let that dry off for 5 or 6 minutes, just so we can start sculpting it a little bit more, and then I'm going to come back, see if we can get some track imprints into here. So we shall be right back. Okay, that's been about 4 or 5 minutes, but it's starting to become a lot more malleable. While I was waiting for it to go off, I've stuck a few stones and stuff in. So now we can actually get in there and actually start to flatten it down without it sticking to everything. He says as it starts to stick. Obviously when you uncover some of it, there's a little bit there still, but for the most part we can now start to take off all, still a little bit there, the rougher edges. So let's have a few more moments. I'm going to see if we can get some track imprints into this bit here. So put the lid on that for now. We may need some more. And oh, where did I put the track? Somewhere safe. There it is. So I'm going to use the end bit, and I'm literally just going to push it in like that. That's giving us some, and then I'm going to do it 3 or 4 times, so we get a lot of random track prints like that. It still a little bit wet, so I'm not going to do this bit until it's dried off a little bit, he says, as it goes in and does another little bit like so. So if we try this, I bring it down, pull that up, and I'll be able to see track prints we've got. Oop. There. So I'm going to do the same here, and then we'll look to put some sort of footprints in on this path. Obviously that still needs smoothing out quite a lot more. So put this back up here. Quick shout out to Tony for showing us his setup. I've now got it on a swingable arm and it's quite easy to move around, have a look at things and show stuff. Right, I need to go wash this track off before it dries out. Give this a few more minutes, so I will be right back. Okay, I've gone and put the other track marks in there. I've been around and smoothed it off a little bit more. That is pretty much now done. We just need to wait for it to completely set, and then we can go around and we can get all the base painting done. Painting the tarmac like a dark grey, probably something very similar to the uniform of these soldiers, and painting the mud different shades of brown, and then dry brushing the tarmac and adding grass to where we need it on the model. So I shall now leave this to dry and go and do something else while we're waiting. So catch you shortly. Oh, I might as well just show you some of the track and stuff. So we zoom in. You can see it. It's turned out a little bit better on this side than that side because this was a little bit drier when we did it. And we just put multiple tracks down, a few stones in there just to break it up, and then as if the mud was encroaching on the road, and then the path a couple of these guys will be on. So I've started to put together some of the soldiers for going down the side. Quite a lot of kit on these guys, as you can see. Water can is, don't know what that was for. Other bits and pieces, satchels, his ammo can, his guns up there somewhere drying, and the helmet's still on the sprue. So yeah, so plenty going on, plenty to do. This model's growing arms and legs a little bit, the extra stuff I'm adding, so I shall catch you all shortly. Okay, this is now completely rock solid and done. Now I was originally planning to just paint this in some sort of earth tones and things like that, but I've decided to actually put some real mud on there. Now I was wanting to look for a wet look mud. Now I know you can buy it in little pots, but for the amount I want, it's probably going to take a couple of pots. So I've been experimenting with alternatives, using glass coats. So we've had a couple of experiments with two different products. The first one was, I thought, well, what if I mix some of the pledge wax with some mud to see if it'll give it that glossy wet look, and no, it didn't. It was completely dry. This is hard. It was mixed with the pledge, left to dry, and then coated again with the pledge, and as you can see it's just stayed as it is, and it started to crack and split up. So that one didn't work. I then tried it with some of this stuff I've had sitting on the shelf for 6 months, never really used it. So it's just a gloss top coat by Createx airbrush colours, and again I did this exactly the same thing. I mixed a little bit of mud with this. I then, once it was dry, it did have a slightly wet look, so I thought, oh okay, so I gave it a coat of this again, let it dry, coated it again, let it dry. So it's had 3 coats, but as you can see from that, now this is completely dry, but it looks wet. So this is the look that I want. So I then went and tried on the other one. I had my thumb over it so you couldn't see it, to put a bit of, I've only put 1 coat on there of the same stuff, this airbrush colours gloss top coat, and it started to make this look wet as well. So what I'm going to try now is mix up some mud, cover the diorama where I need the mud to be, so all around these edges we will coat in real mud, let it dry, and then we will excuse me, coat it with this stuff, give it several coats and see what we get. So I'm going to crack on with that and other bits. So for this episode, that is that. So in episode, well, this is episode 7, so episode 8 we will either continue looking at the diorama, or we will start to weather the tank with, we'll be starting off with a oil wash. So thanks for watching. As always, keep making models, be good, be safe, and we shall catch you next time. Thanks for watching.